Charlottetown. Sean Casey, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Veterans Affairs and Associate Minister of National Defense and Member of Parliament, will make an announcement on Friday about minority language education and second language instruction. He will make the announcement on behalf of October 16, 2025, Montreal, Quebec, Veterans Affairs Canada. The Government of Canada recognizes those who have contributed to the well-being of veterans and their families, and keeps the memory of their contributions, sacrifices and achievements alive. Today in Montreal, Parliamentary Secretary Sean C.A. FedNor funding will help to increase the economic impact of the Francophone arts and culture sector in Northern Ontario. Francophone communities are vital to Canada's identity, especially in our region, our culture and our future in Northern Ontario. That is why, today, Vivian Lapointe, member of PA. Canadian identity and culture drive innovation, economic growth and national pride. By supporting projects that celebrate our cultural diversity, bring people together, and create spaces to share our diverse stories, heritage and traditions, we strengthen the bonds that unite us and build a Canada W. The Procurement Ombud released a report detailing the findings of his procurement practice review of bait and switch tactics in the replacement of resources in federal professional services contracts. The review uncovered results that were both good and bad, and highlighted the potential unintended. The Prime Minister will announce new measures to combat crime and protect our communities. Talib Noor Mohammed, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation, will make an announcement in Surrey, British Columbia, to highlight how the Government of Canada W. Time, 11 a.m. ADT. Location, Glace Bay Miners Forum Community Room 151 Lower North Street, Glace Bay, Nova Scotia B1A6B4. Culture is a powerful driver of innovation, inclusion, and economic growth and a fundamental pillar of our Canadian identity. Museums play a crucial role in keeping our culture alive, fostering knowledge, nurturing national pride and preserving the vitality of our communities. Today, Caroline Desrock. Today, the Honourable Tim Hodgson, Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, concluded a 3-day visit to London, United Kingdom, from October 14 to 16, focused on advancing secure critical mineral supply chains and energy security for Canada and our allies. During his trip, Minister Hodgson met the Honourable Patricia Latanzio, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada, alongside the Honourable Natalie Provost, Secretary of State, and the Honourable Jacques Ramsey, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Public Safety, will announce upcoming MEA. The Competition Bureau has obtained court orders to gather information to advance its investigation into Merieux NutriScience's acquisition of Bureau Veritas food testing business. Prior to the acquisition, Merieux NutriSciences and Bureau Veritas were each significant players in Canada's food TE. Today, the Honourable Rebecca Chartrand, Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs, and Jim Harrington, Project Director for the Mount Nansen Remediation Limited Partnership, announced the tear-down of the Mount Nansen Mine's abandoned mill will begin this fall. Tearing down the mill site is a key step. Today, the Honourable Evan Solomon, Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation and Minister responsible for the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, concluded successful visits to the United Arab Emirates and Qatar, delivering on new partnerships and strengthening. After the announcement, Minister Olszewski will be available for media availability to answer the questions of journalists. Time 10:00 Location, Stanley A. Milner Library 7 Sir Winston Churchill Square NW Edmonton, Alberta. The Tribunal is an independent quasi-judicial body that reports to Parliament through the Minister of Finance. It hears cases on dumped and subsidized imports, safeguard complaints, complaints about federal government procurement and appeals of customs and excise tax rulings. When requested by the the ministers reaffirmed the strong bilateral relationship between Canada and Qatar, celebrating over 50 years of diplomatic ties. They highlighted the importance of pursuing shared goals and mutual interests in communications and information technology. Both sides welcomed recent high-level visits. Time 2:30 p.m. Members of the media are asked to contact HICC Media Relations at mediamedias@inf.gc.cato, receive event location details and confirm their attendance. Exercise Ardent Defender is the CAF's premier multinational counter-improvised explosive device exercise. Led by the Canadian Armed Forces Explosive Ordnance Disposal Organization, this exercise brings together participants from Australia, Austria, Belgium, Czechia, the Netherlands, New Zealand, GO. A revamped program is now available to help new island farmers establish or continue profitable and sustainable farm businesses on Prince Edward Island. Through mentorship, project funding, and training, the Future Farmer Program 2.0 helps farmers set and prioritize sustainable business goals while STR. The future of Canada's digital economy is being built in Manitoba. Interactive digital media companies are embracing artificial intelligence to stay ahead of the curve, drive growth, and create jobs and new opportunities. Today, Jeanette Levac, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Indigenous MP Lapointe and event participants will be available for questions from the media following the announcement. Funding announcement time 11:00 a.m. Location, Place des Arts du Grand Sudbury 27 Larch Street Sudbury, on. Environment and Climate Change Canada enforcement officers take all necessary steps to halt illegal transport of hazardous waste and hazardous recyclable materials, both domestically and internationally. In March and April of 2022, Environment and Climate Change Canada enforcement officers, working. The Canada Border Services Agency announced today that it is initiating investigations to determine whether certain thermoformed molded fiber tableware is being sold at unfair prices in Canada and/or is being subsidized. The investigations focus on imports from producers operating in or exporting. Media are invited to the opening of the Canadian Coast Guard's new search and rescue station in Cobourg, Ontario. Chris Mallett, Member of Parliament for the Bay of Quinte, will announce the station's official opening on behalf of the Minister of National Defence, the Honourable David J. McGuinty. M. Snuneymuxw First Nation, British Columbia. Please be advised that the Honourable Rebecca Alty, Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations, along with Chief Wise of Snuneymuxw First Nation will make an important announcement regarding lands and economic development. Time 9:30 a.m. Where Snuneymuxw Wrecker. Who, soldiers from Canada and allied and partner nations, including Australia, Austria, Belgium, Czechia, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Germany, Sweden, Slovakia, and the United Kingdom, all with expertise in explosive ordnance detection and disposal. What media are invited to attend the exercise ARD? The federal government is delivering for small businesses, helping them start up, scale up, and expand into new markets. It is taking action to support entrepreneurs and create good jobs in every region of the country, such as cutting taxes, removing trade barriers and introducing new measures that p. The Honourable Judy Scrow, Member of Parliament for Humber River Black Creek, on behalf of the Honourable Evan Solomon, Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation and Minister responsible for the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, will make an important announcement. In recent weeks, the Philippines has faced multiple natural disasters, including a tropical cyclone and earthquakes, which have resulted in the loss of life, as well as damage to homes and infrastructure, impacting local communities and economies. Today, the Honourable Randeep Sarai, Secretary of State. To that end, Serge Cormier, Member of Parliament for Acadie, Bathurst, the Honourable Susan Holt, Premier of New Brunswick, and His Worship Dennis Lassire, Mayor of the Regional Municipality of Tracadie, announced a federal investment of over $3.7 million and a provincial investment of more than $2.4 million. The Honourable Maninder Sidhu, Minister of International Trade, met with Antonio Tajani, Italy's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation in Rome, Italy. The meeting took place on the first day of Canada's trade mission to Italy. Building on the momentum GE. Nicolet, Quebec. Caroline Durocher, Member of Parliament, will announce funding for the Musée des Cultures du Monde on Tuesday. She will make this announcement on behalf of the Honourable Stephen Guilbeault, Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture and Minister responsible for official languages. P. Montreal on Thursday, Patricia Latanzio, Member of Parliament, will announce funding in support of activities promoting the talent, creativity, and inclusion of women artists of African descent in the cultural sector. She will make the announcement on behalf of the Honorable Stephen Guilbeault, Mini.